More Hidden Black History Part 1.
Sounds for the conscious mind checking in with you. You heard me. Just came to drop a quick video for y'all, just to drop some gems and some enlightenment and everything. We're gonna talk about how George Washington and Ben Franklin and everybody, they know exactly who we are. That was the whole reason why they created the matrix system that they created right now, and that's still in law and in play as we speak. You heard me. So with that being said, if you disagree, then disagree peacefully. If you agree, then cool. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, research it. Don't get on here speaking about something that you know that you don't know, that you know that you never seen, that you know that you never even thought about before. You feel me? So this is for the real enlightened ones, or the ones who really want the game in the gym. So with that being said,
swarthy means dark skin or dark complexion.
Okay, so first up, we got Ben Franklin. Let's see what he say about everything. And this is their time. This is 200 plus years ago, not even that long. Y'all remember my last indigenous video I made, right? Both of my great-great-great-grandmother and my great-great-grandmother lived to be 100 apiece. That's 200 years right there. I'm only 4 generations down. So with that being said, let's see what he talk about real quick. All of Africa, Asia, and America are swarthy. Swarthy means, that's what swarthy is. You can look that up too on your off time, but here we go. Are swarthy, black. Russia, Italy, Spain, France, Swedes, and Germans are black. Those are the aborigines, the indigenes, you know what I'm saying? The people who did not come from Africa, because you remember the map that I showed you of Pangea, right? This is why. You feel me? We are the first on this planet, so it makes sense that we are the first everywhere, not just Africa. Stop limiting yourself. That's that white supremacy shit that they tell y'all. They want y'all to think that we was just in Africa while they controlled the motherfucking world, and that's false. We ran shit. So here we go. Alright, next up, we already know who this is. Let's see what he says. If we would agree to take the fizzes and the turbans off of the Moors' heads and remove the sandals from their feet and enforce severe punishment, such as lynchings and raping, buck busting, and all that type of shit, severe punishments, and to also swear a death oath between ourselves to religiously and faithfully not allow anyone to teach the Moors' children who they really are, and this is why Noble Drew Ali got so much hate. Forefathers were and only allow the Moorish children to be taught that they were truly Negroes, black people, and color folks. 200 years from now, from today, the Moorish people would not know their nationality nor their national name or their forefathers. Also, they would not know from which land or ancestors that they descended from. 1774, he said that 200 years later, that's 19.
Black History Part 2.
Videos, just get into it, you know what I'm saying? Science for the conscious mind. At the end of this video, if you like it and it resonate, please hit that follow button. Like, share, repost, and comment. You know, all my duets and stitches is you know what I'm saying? We can get into this together. But no further ado, I got 3 minutes, so let's get into it. We're going to talk about race classifications and where they came. So before we get started, everybody need to know who this man is. German physician. He's one of the people who created the race classifications as Mongolian, Negroid, Caucasoid, and all that other stuff, you know what I'm saying? He's one of them, and it's called scientific racism. Let's get into it. He ain't do it by. This is his homeboy, you know what I'm saying? He from Sweden. Also, scientific racism. This is what Miss Jane Elliott, y'all need to do your research on her. This is what she was saying, that schools teach white supremacy, and the kids and parents don't know that because they don't do their research. And my people and all the Hebrew Israelites say it because our people will perish from the lack of knowledge. Sit down and talk to your grandparents if they still around. They gonna hook you up to some shit that you don't know about. But just keep it going on. I got 3 minutes to get this done. We're gonna be talking about the word Negro, indigenous folks, Africans, all that. You know what I'm saying? We about to get into it. I might make a 4-5 part. You can pause it, get close to the screen if you can't see, but what it says lots of Negroes, mostly house servants, some for field work. This is what I mean by a lot of us wasn't slaves, but our family was indentured servants. There's a difference. Indentured servitude is different from slavery. And most of us was just house servants, you know, your butlers, your maids, you know what I'm saying, your janitors and shit like that after everybody get done eating and shit like that, your bus boys. Yeah, housework. Here we go. And another thing, school, stop teaching the bullshit. Christopher Columbus himself said that when he came over to these lands, it was numerous inhabitants here. And he called them Negroes. Like I told y'all, when he came to the islands and the lands and shit, he called the inhabitants of that land Negroes because he spoke Spanish. He was from Spain. So he spoke Spanish, and Spanish for Negro is what? Black. Come on, man. Who's the real indigenous Americans? I'm going to leave that right there for part 2. I appreciate it. Y'all stay tuned. I'm about to go ahead and work on part 2 for y'all.
Hidden Black History Part 3. Follow my page.
Before we get in, a lot of people been hitting me up in my DM and everything on Facebook and Instagram. Want to know what books that they can get, you know what I'm saying, to help them get, just pretty much wake up for real. And I'm just going to say, like, some good beginner books is, you know, More Than a Slave, you know, the Apocrypha King James, the Eyeballs, Ancient Black Hebrews, The Jew is a Negro, get the miseducation of the Negro. I got that book too, but I let Mom do all that because she, you feel me, the Age of Awakening. And then financial literacy. All the knowledge don't mean nothing if you ain't financial literate at the same time and apply that shit. So before we get started, we gonna be going through this one real quick. So I ain't gonna hold y'all. I only got 3 minutes to do it, so let's get into it. Now, before I get into it, this kind of intrigued me too, of how they mapped out everything back then. Y'all notice this say Lower Ethiopia and this say Upper Ethiopia down here. That only makes sense on the Upper Ethiopia, Lower Ethiopia. Upper, lower. They flipped the maps. They switched the compass because you forgot that there's a warehouse that makes compasses and they write north, south, east, west. So it's easy to flip the shit. You feel me? But anyway, just really dig into what I'm talking about. I just wanted to drop that in there so y'all can look more into that. And if y'all find something, please hit me up and turn me on to something. I welcome all knowledge and all gems, man. We all part of the same track. We're going to read right here. I'm going to read from the book. Let's get into it. According to Paul, the blindness of Israel will only last until the fullness of Gentiles become in. We don't know entirely what that means. I do. I'm going to put that in part 2. But what we do know is that the blindness is being lifted off of Israel. Our people are looking into the Bible to find our true identities. Our people are looking into Kemet to find our true identities. Our people are looking into Native American history to find our true identities. Our people are looking into DNA tests to find our true identities. I'm going to stop it right there. Because we've looked here, all of these, and let me tell you something. All of this is true. We are all of that. Why everything got to be black? Because in the beginning, everything was black. Get out your feelings. It's so fragile. Everything was melanated. Aboriginal Americans, American Indians, the Moors, Israelites, Kemet. That's all us. Part 2 coming up. Part 2 coming up, man. Stay tuned. Like, share, hit that follow button. Signs for the
More Israelite Hidden Black History Part 6.
Conscious Mind checking in with you. Got another dope video. Another informational one. The reason why I'm going heavy on the Moor topic, because I'm showing y'all that it all ties in. If y'all paid attention from my very first video all the way up to now, I'm showing y'all how it all ties in and connected, you know. And a lot of people be like, well, show us without the Bible. So, you know, this is what I'm doing. So, with that being said, let's get into it. Let's take a look at this. When Spain expelled the Jews and the Moors, a lesson in history. Let's see what they got to say. In the year 1031, wait, told you it's all connected, right? Before we go to that, what I was about to say, let's take a look about the Jews and Moors in Spain real quick. Let's see. There are Irish records of a Viking raid on Spain and North Africa in 862. You got to go before the 1031. So in 862, there was a raid on Spain and North Africa. During the raid, a number of blacks were captured and some carried to Dublin, in Ireland. They were known as blue men, Irish for Groma. You know what I'm saying? I ain't Ireland, so whatever. You know, the entry is under the title Three Fringements. Fringes. Okay. Alright, so now let's bring it back to the expel of the Jews and Moors. In 1031, what it say? Political power was certainly now in the hands of the Spaniards and the Christians. But in the liberal professions, many Jews and North Africans were still visibly successful. They were prosperous merchants and doctors, scholars and bankers, scientists and leaders of thought. Spaniards and the Christians. So who was the Jews and the North Africans? Eat this. We know the Moors had Northwest Africa to Americas. The Israelites and Jews had Northeast Africa. You feel me? Right here in Egypt and over here, there was something called this. Jewish Moors. And what year is this? 1095 after 1031. Y'all can pause, read that real quick. These blacks are referred to as Beauforts. Let me show you something. Now we coming back to this. Y'all remember this? Now just drop down. Because the Moors are the same as Negroes and Mauritania is the same as Negro land. I'm going to show y'all what that is. So when they say they got some of us from West Africa, Northwest Africa counts too. This is where it's at. By Morocco, Western Sahara. Ooh, check this out.